What's up, Dolphins fans? Happy Tuesday afternoon, and the comment section is already cracking me up. I see some real ones in the building, but welcome into Dolphins Today. I am your host, Nic Rohloff. Very fun show planned for all of you today. After the first day of Dolphins Minicamp has come to a close, there's a lot that came out on Tua, Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle. We also have some Justin Simmons rumors to get into as well, and then we'll also answer some questions, so I'm super pumped to be here with all of you today. As always, we are going to have my guy Jack Lotteray with us on the Tuesday weekly live show. He's fired up, I'm fired up, you need to be fired up, so shout out your city for me down below in the comments section. Let me see where all the real ones are tuning in from. We had Ty Man, my guy Axie, Kenny, Rolly's Neckbeard is here. Gosh darn it. Can't believe Rolly's Neckbeard is in the building. Sherry May, Bill Lyon, Chad Jones is in the building. What's up, Chad?
Jones.
Josiah is in the building. Justin, Axie, let's go, let's go, let's go. Who? Yeah, Chad Jones.
Chad Jones.
Michael Murray's watching from Port St. Lucie. Chad Jones is in Virginia. That's something new today, Chad. I know you're a legend. I know you're a real one. I did not know, though, you were watching in Virginia. Shout out Port St. Lucie, home of the New York Mets spring training, but they stink. Ty Man in Ohio. Skooks in Newark, New Jersey. Kenny in Deltona, Florida. Gregory in Wildwood, Florida. Rolly's Neckbeard is just spitting absolute false narratives in the chat. Bears wide receiver room is pretty good, but the Dolphins is better. Space Coast, Florida from Sherry May. Sean says they should have told Waddle to gain 10 pounds. Well, I trust Waddle's been in the league for 3 years. He has 1,000 receiving yards in each season. I think what Waddle's doing is just working out fine. Skoo. Sorry, I can't read. I'm dumb. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just up here talking about football. I can't read. That's why I'm doing this. Boca Raton for Sean. Bills in Syracuse. Let's go. Jeffrey in the Bahamas. Let's ride. Jacob was born in Ohio as well. John Walsh is in Frederick, Maryland. Fins up. That's what we like to see out of John Walsh. Here's a good question, and I should see a lot of 10s in the chat. How excited are you for the Dolphins season? I am at a 10, but I want to know where you are at. I assume everyone's at a 10 as well, but maybe you aren't as excited because, you know what, the Florida Panthers are in the Stanley Cup, and you're just happy that we get to watch some big-time hockey and take a little break there, but I feel like most people are at a 10 right now. Josiah is, Chad Jones is. Heat Ring, I hope that's coming soon, says 10. Ty Man says 10,000 because he's a real one. Michael Murray, 10. Sherry May, 10. Kenny the Penny says, how many zeros is that? 3? 6? I think that's a million. I'm going to guess that. Bill says 10. Skoo says 10. Gregory, 10. Daryl, 10. Sean says 10 and a half. Axie is at a 10. Miami just says 9. Miami Bree, 41. Why are you at a 9? Just a 9? That's a little reserved if you're asking me. I'm glad to be here, though. Jacob Ellis is also rocking with us and a 10. Fun show, like I said, on tap. A lot of going on in the Dolphins world. I mean, Jaylen Waddle got paid last Thursday. Javon Holland, Tua extension talks. Tyreek Hill now kind of wants a new pay raise as well after Justin Jefferson got his contract extension. Minicamp finished today. Day 1, day 2 is tomorrow. Day 3 is on Thursday. So we actually have real football, and we'll talk about it more in depth in our first segment of the show. But the Dolphins did have perfect attendance, that is perfect, folks. That is absolutely perfect. Before we continue with the show, this is our Super Chat menu for today if we want to have fun. Any Super Chat gets featured on the show. If you have a question, comment, concern, whatever you want to bring up, you can get it on screen with a Super Chat no matter the amount. $10, we're going to keep it going with the 5 push-ups for now until I think of something different or more fun. All I'll say is that I had a workout this morning and I am still sore, so I'm not even going to lie. push-ups would be very difficult for yours truly. $20, I got the Patron. If we want to take some shots, get litty on a Tuesday, why not? I don't care. And then $50 super chat. We're changing it up here. Last week when we did it, I'm still trying to get used to you guys on live shows. $50 was a beer bong. $100 was to get into the Aqua Club or Hall of Fame, whatever you will. But now we're combining the two because I had an idea. I was like, a $50 super chat, we induct a new person into the Dolphins Aqua Club / Hall of Fame, get on the helmet. Right now we just have Tim B., Sherry May, and Kristen Reinhart, and we'd like to add to this. And the way that I'm kind of spin zoning this in my own head is that $50 gets you into the Hall of Fame, but we'll also celebrate it by doing a beer bong. So we do 2 for 1 there. You get into the Hall of Fame. I take down a beer because we're celebrating you getting into the Hall of Fame. So $50 if you wanted to hop in there. Next question I want to ask you guys and get your thoughts on. Will Jaylen Phillips play week 1 of the NFL season? Obviously, the Dolphins are taking on the Jaguars in the first week of the season. Phillips tore his Achilles on Black Friday against the New York Jets in that shitty MetLife Stadium back in November. So the timeline is roughly 4 to 6, 7 months to return from injury. Phillips has said that he is going to be ready to go by week 1. Omar Kelly was skeptical. I was skeptical, but Phillips kind of looked like he was doing good stuff at the first day of minicamp. So there is a little good of at least positive thinking in terms of Jaylen Phillips. So let me know if you think he will play or he won't play. Chad Jones believes he'll play. Heat says play. Scoo says I wouldn't push it. Listen, I'll say this. The only way I'm playing Jaylen Phillips week 1 is if he's 100%. And that is up to your team doctors and your training staff to make that assessment. But if he's even 75, 80%, this Dolphins team has aspirations for much bigger things than winning week 1 against the Jaguars. So trust the first-round pick, Chop Robinson, Shaq Barrett, Bradley Chubb if he's ready to go. Trust those guys to get the job done and make sure Jaylen Phillips, when he does return to the field, is 100% without a doubt, and there isn't any risk of re-injuring that Achilles. LGC says play. Sherry May says play, but not all game. Yeah, I would agree with that. Even if he is 100%, he's probably going to be on a pitch count just to ease his way back into things. That's kind of how I view it as well, Sherry May. Justin says, I want to see Achane off the chain. Now, that would be fun. Apparently, he had a really good day in the first day of minicamps. He flashed out of the backfield in terms of the receiving game, caught a 20-yard strike by Tua Tagovailoa. So I think Devon Achane is in for a big year, too. And I've kind of said this for a while now on the channel ever since the NFL draft is I think this Dolphins running back room, does it have the best running back in football? No. Does it have the most talented running back in football? No, but when you combine the trio of Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, and Jalen Wright, I think it makes up for the best running back room in all of football. You can take your Christian McCaffrey and do whatever the hell you want with it. I'll take the trio that the Dolphins have over the one running back in San Francisco. Maybe that is a hot take, but that's kind of how I feel. Josiah says play, Ty Man play, Gaming with John says play, Daryl says play. Let's go. Let's go. Justin says Mo Kamara is going to get 15 sacks. I doubt it, but if Mo Kamara got 15 sacks, that would be the draft pick of the year. A 5th rounder getting 15 sacks as a rookie. Are you kidding me? I mean, a lot of people thought Kamara was going to go in the day 2 of the draft, either in the 2nd or 3rd round, maybe early 4th at latest, but the Dolphins scooped him up at 184, baby. 5th round. What a steal. What a steal. Do you love the Dolphins? Hit that thumbs up button. We got 80 people in the building. We got to get to 40 likes. And if I'm going to be honest, if you're watching this on replay or if you're watching this live, so last week we got about 115 likes on our live stream. It was the first time that I did a live stream on like a weekday with you guys because I did do 3 live streams or 2 live shows during the NFL draft. It was just 2, the first round and the day 3. And I want to continue to get better every single week here as we progress towards training camp and towards the NFL season. So So hit that thumbs up button. Let's get more than 115 likes that we got on last week's video. Can we get 200? That'd be a pretty good goal if you're asking me. But the best way to start is getting to 40 likes right now to get that 50% like rate, because we have 80 people watching. We need to get 40 people liking the video. 29 likes. You just need 11. Come on, hit that thumbs up icon and help your boy out. Haxie's talking Drew Smith. That's what I love to see. You know, Axie, you guys know, or some of you might know, I'm also a diehard Heat fan, so I'm pretty pumped up for the offseason and season ahead as well. And you talking Heat basketball has me fired up, man. Finley says, rank the Dolphins receiver group. That would be a good question in the mailbag, so use hashtag Dolphins, but I'll give you a quick answer. Number one. All right, we did cross 41 likes. Let's go. Well, I guess we'll say this as well. You can get your questions in right now if you want. Hashtag Dolphins. And it will be up to producer Jack Latteray's discretion to either let your question on air or not. But if you want to guarantee your question, Super Chat will do that. Skip the line. Rolly's neckbeard is getting called out by Latteray. Don't worry about him. He is a troll.
No, but here's what I say. You call me out in the chat, you ain't getting on the show.
But guess what, Rolly's neckbeard? If you super chat with a question or a comment, then you have to get on the show. Because then I'll overrule Jack and say, super chat, you're on. Yeah. I appreciate everyone who liked the video. Let's tell you about what is coming up live on today's show. Only 3 segments today. We'll likely bring back 4 maybe next week, but the issue is I can't plan too far ahead with our segments because I have to react to so many news and rumors coming out of minicamp and stuff like that, so I can't plan too far ahead. Next week, we'll probably bring back 4. But we will react to day 1 of Dolphins Minicamp as the mandatory minicamp. So you need to show up or you get fined. But good thing is everyone showed up. Justin Simmons rumors as he sent out a cryptic social media post about potentially joining the Miami Dolphins. And then lastly, as we have stated already, Miami Dolphins Q&A. We will answer your questions surrounding the Dolphins, and that should be fun. Before we get into the first segment on Dolphins Minicamp, I gotta take a sip of water here. Yeah, I guess I didn't plan on this, but Jack came up with a good point. I mean, it's orange. My favorite color is orange. Fun fact about me. But orange is a Dolphins color, so I guess it's a Dolphins water bottle. Slap a Dolphin sticker on it. Let's call it. Oh, Christ. Yeah, I mean, I like that water bottle. I also don't think you guys want it. I mean, I drink out of it all the time, but yeah, he might want it. All right, fellas, let's get into the first segment on today's show. Welcome into Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, and we are reacting to day 1 of Miami Dolphins minicamp. This is mandatory, by the way, so if you don't show up, you are subject to fines from your individual team, and I got some good news on that part for the Miami Dolphins. But first, if you want more coverage on minicamp, make sure you're following me over on Twitter/X, whatever you want to call it. My handle is Nic_Rohloff. I am posting interviews, highlights, clips all over my social media platforms for Dolphins minicamp. So if you want to see a more in-depth look, my Twitter's the best place to go do it. So follow me at Nic_Rohloff. All right, as I foreshadowed just 1 second ago, the Dolphins, perfect attendance. That cannot be said for other teams around the NFL, as we've seen holdouts with CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk and even Hassan Reddick with the New York Jets. But all Miami Dolphins players were there, including Tua, OBJ, Tyreek Hill, the newly extended Jaylen Waddle, and maybe not everyone participated in every single practice drill. More on that in just a second. But at least everyone was there in some capacity working out with their teammates. So let's get into the Dolphins takeaways from day 1. And number 1 is that this team is behind quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Obviously, contract extension rumors surrounding Tua is the headliner of this offseason as he's entering the final year of his rookie deal, fifth-year option. The Dolphins do have 2 years of team control left, including a couple of franchise tags, but the Dolphins seem to want to get a contract extension done. We know Tua wants to get a contract extension done, and it feels like everything is kind of progressing to a point where it will happen before training camp at the end of July, early August, but that is the main topic right now. And Tua was asked about it after practice by the Dolphins media, and he was kind of pretty emotional about it. Not like an emotional of like being sad or anything like that, but he was just very pumped up about him getting his money. And he said, the market is the market. What does that mean? Like, he kind of mentioned about how he probably wants to get paid more than Jared Goff, right, who just got a deal with $53 million in annual average salary over 4 seasons, coming out to $212 million with $170 million guaranteed. I would expect Tua's contract to be in that range. My projection for Uno is $220 million over 4 years, which is $55 a year, and $180 million guaranteed, just a little bit higher than Goff, but I also think Tua is a better QB than Goff, and he is younger. Tyreek Hill was also asked on the situation. He said Tua should have been paid, and the interesting part about this quote is that it's in the past tense. So he's kind of talking about it should have already been done. He's not saying, yeah, get Tua his money. Well, he is saying that, but he kind of is basically, when he said this quote, was like, yeah, I think he should have already been paid by Miami. And to me, this is just his wide receiver one having Tua's back. And he's not the only wide receiver on this roster to have Tua back. Jaylen Waddle, when asked about contract extensions and his own, he said, I want Tua to get paid as well. So it is very clear to me that the wide receivers on this Dolphins team, Tyreek Hill and Jaylen Waddle, they love playing with Tua because I just feel like if they didn't, they would have tried to work around that question. Maybe not work around, but not voice so much support for Tua. But they love him. He's an accurate quarterback. He's been able to get Jaylen Waddle 1,000 yards over the past 2 seasons, or 3 seasons, really. Tyreek Hill over 1,500 yards a season over the last 2 since joining Miami. So these wide receivers like working with Tua. Tua likes working with them, and they all have each other's back. And another good thing, too, from Dolphins Minicamp today, Tua was cooking. And I want to mention this was specifically in 7-on-7 drills because he did not participate in 11-on-11 full team activities. And it kind of feels like he won't be doing that. He is not holding out of Dolphins Minicamp, but I believe he is purposely not working in with the 11-on-11 situations because he does want to get paid. Obviously, you're not going to get hit as a quarterback, but there are certain different aspects that come to doing 7-on-7 in comparison to 11-on-11. But Tua was a standout. All Dolphins reporters and media members were saying how accurate he was, and they were just dominating on offense, including a nice 20-yard strike to Devon Achane out of the backfield, who had a nice day at camp too. Tua showing out at Dolphins Minicamp. All right, number 2 on our takeaways list, Jaelan Phillips. He's progressing pretty well in terms of his health. We got an all-time clip, or not clip, if you will, but a story coming out of day one. This one's coming from David, who covers the Dolphins. A highlight of Dolphins' first minicamp practice. Jaelan Phillips came outside from rehabbing inside, yelled for Omar Kelly, who covers the Dolphins for the Herald, to watch him and jogged, asking loudly if he's still limping. Indeed, Phillips was not limping with his stride. I don't know if you know the story, but Omar Kelly, in an article about 2 weeks ago when it came to OTAs, put in it that he is concerned about Jaelan Phillips because he saw a noticeable limp. And I think it's absolutely hilarious that Phillips obviously saw that, or the article got back to him. He feels that he is not limping and showcased it to the entire media members and everybody there and calling him out one-on-one. That is just hilarious to me, and I love that fire mentality from Jaelan Phillips. But on a more serious note, he did suffer a torn Achilles on November 24th against the New York Jets on Black Friday, if you do not remember. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, I don't think you guys did forget, but I want to talk about the date, because that happened on November 24th. And I was doing some research on an Achilles injury, and it's different for every single position and different sport, but the average recovery time from a torn Achilles is 4 to 6 months. That's what Aaron Rodgers was dealing with after he tore his Achilles in week 1 of the NFL season. There's obviously those rumors of him trying to come back in December and January, which evidently didn't happen. But this is kind of the timetable for Jalen Phillips. And the question is he going to be ready for week 1 in September? Now, if you do the math, week 1 in September is much longer than 4 to 6 months. But when you're an edge rusher who really prides themselves on getting off the ball quickly and how you need to be on your toes and then jump, right? And you use those calves, that Achilles muscle. Like, you need to make sure that is at 100% so there's not a chance of re-injuring it. Phillips said that he expects to be ready by week 1 so he can be going up and taking down Trevor Lawrence to get the Dolphins a 1-0 start. I hope he's right, but all I want to say here is make sure you are 100% because the Dolphins are trying to win a Super Bowl, not just win the first game of the season. So make sure you're 100% Jalen Phillips. But that brings me to this question for you. Will Jalen Phillips play week 1 for the Dolphins against Jacksonville on September 8th? If you believe he will, type P for play. If you think he'll miss that game, type W for won't. All right, next takeaway here from day 1 is that Tyreek Hill will not be a distraction long-term for this Dolphins team because Tyreek Hill wants a pay bump. There is no doubt about that. After Justin Jefferson's contract extension got announced just earlier this week, it was very clear that Hill probably wants to get paid similar to that because Tyreek Hill has been the best, if not the second best wide receiver in all of football over the past 2 to 3 seasons, specifically with the Miami Dolphins. And with Jefferson getting paid on an annual average basis of $35 million with that extension, I assume Tyreek Hill wants to be there. And because of other guys getting paid, Tyreek Hill is kind of falling out of the top 5 in terms of paid wide receivers. And Hill has just been so good that he wants to probably be in that top 5 range once again. More on that conversation in a second, but make sure you are started with Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app on the market, with the NHL Finals and our Florida Panthers in there taking on the Oilers, and then you got the NBA Finals. There's no better time to get started with Prize Picks. And the best part about PP is that they got the best promotions in the business. Prize Picks has got you covered every week, from lowering select player stat projections on Tuesdays, which increases your chances of getting a win, to getting your entry fees back if you have a losing lineup on Friday. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. Get in on the daily action with your friends and become a part of the Prize Pick community today. I already have an entry for Game 1 of the NBA Finals because I'm a basketball guy. That's where I get my hoops knowledge for. I love it. And I took less than on Jason Tatum, 27.5 points. More than Derek White, 14.5 points. And more than on Daniel Gafford, 6 rebounds. You could join me and celebrities like Stephen A. Smith playing Prize Picks on every single day. Download the app and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Or you can go in the description and comments of today's video. Click on that link, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that code one more time, CLNS, to get a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. All right, back to Tyreek Hill because he was asked about wanting more money after Justin Jefferson's deal. And, well, Marcel, who covers the Dolphins, had a really good note here. He said, Dolphins Tyreek Hill said he's going to let his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, handle his contract situation. Said he's happy to be in Miami and wants to help the team however he can. And the direct quote, being greedy ain't going to help the team. And I think that line is really important. Being greedy ain't going to help the team. Because Tyreek Hill, in my opinion, is going to have to wait if he wants a contract extension. Now, could the Dolphins shift around money to front load his deal and take some of the money in that 2026 year and give it to him now so he's paid this season as a top 5 wide receiver? Sure, but the Dolphins need to get extensions done with Tua Tagovailoa, and I'd honestly put Javon Holland in this list as well because I think he's a top 5 safety in all football, and he's in his last year of his 4-year rookie deal after being a second-round pick. Tyreek Hill should know and needs to know that he is at the back of the line in terms of contract extensions that Chris Grier and this Dolphins front office has to hand out. Tua's number 1. I'd put Holland 2, and then Tyreek slots there into 3, and then that's probably where Jalen Phillips would come into play with number 4. But Tyreek Hill, I think, needs to be patient and needs to wait to get an extension. I would probably project that a contract extension for Tyreek would come next offseason after they square away Javon Holland and Tua Tagovailoa. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you do not miss out on anything surrounding the Miami Dolphins, whether it be minicamp, news and notes, rumors. We'll have it all on the channel, so subscribe today. I'm Nic Rohloff. We'll have you covered. All right, takeaway number 4. Jonnu Smith and the tight ends were heavily involved with the Miami Dolphins offense today, and I've got a take coming in just a second. But when you look at this room, I'm a fan. Now, it might be looked at as one of the weakest parts of this Dolphins roster, but Jonnu Smith coming over in free agency, I think he's going to be a good addition. Durham Smythe obviously returning. You signed Jody Fortson in free agency. Julian Hill trying to make a name for himself. But I think there is a star in the making. And star might be a strong word, but someone who is quickly rising up the depth chart, in my opinion, coming in the form of Jody Fortson, the former Kansas City Chiefs tight end who missed the entire 2023 season due to a shoulder injury, I am dangerously close to moving him up the depth chart and having him be tight end too. He has been making nothing short of fantastic plays in the last 3 weeks for Miami. Today in the first day of minicamp, the 2 weeks of OTAs, he's been really good, and beat reporters are raving about him. And prior to that season-ending injury in 2023, Fortson has been solid in his career. Only played in 19 games, but he's also was buried on that depth chart behind Travis Kelce in Kansas City. When he got targeted, he usually caught the ball. 18 targets and had 14 catches. Also had 155 yards and 4 touchdowns. Those numbers are very solid. He's a solid red zone threat, a big-bodied tight end who's very athletic. And to me, his emergence just continues to solidify my belief in this tight end room for the Miami Dolphins. I'm high on this group. Jonnu Smith, this is not an opinion, this is a fact, the best yards after catch tight end in the NFL. It is statistically proven that if you get the ball in his hands, he is the best at making something happen after the fact. You pair that up with the wide receiver room that Miami has, obviously with the big 3, and then you have the rookies coming on as well. You have a plethora of weapons to throw the ball to. And then if you were to pair up Jody Fortson as a red zone threat with Jonnu Smith yards after catch ability, you have a sneaky good tight end room that many people around the National Football League probably won't mention, and the national pundits won't talk about how good this tight end room is. That's fine by me. Let him fly underneath the radar and let him dominate on Sundays with Tua throwing him the rock. That kind of brings me to this, and it's an intriguing question. The Dolphins tight end room, where do you guys grade it at? What is it ranked on a scale of 1 to 10? It's not the best. It's not, but I think it's sneaky good. I'll give it a 7-7. It's pretty good. Don't disrespect my 7-7. The 7-7s are good. Let me know yours. All right, last takeaway from day one is this wide receiver room is an absolute bloodbath. This should come to no surprise. We've kind of documented this throughout OTAs and ever since they drafted 2 wide receivers in the NFL draft, and Malik Washington and Taj Washington. But River Craycraft is fighting for his roster spot. Eric Ezukama, Braxton Berrios, I think, is safe, but he's not a Lockerstein. I think he could be, but it's not guaranteed. Craycraft had a few nice catches on day 1 of minicamp, including a nice one-hander, according to some reports. And to me, when you look at the entire landscape of the NFL, you go through every single team's depth chart and go position group by position group. There is not a more crowded room in the entire NFL than the Dolphins wide receiver room. There just isn't. You have, obviously, the 3 that are guaranteed. Hill, Waddle, OBJ. You have 2 rookies that are very enticing, in my opinion. Malik Washington and Taj Washington. We mentioned Eric Uzukama, River Craycraft, Braxton Berrios. You also have some other guys like Matthew Sexton out there that have been on an NFL roster in the past. This wide receiver room is so dang crowded. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out of here. I think Miami keeps 6 wide receivers on the 53-man roster. My prediction for a long time has been Tyreek Hill, Jaylen Waddle, OBJ, Malik Washington, Braxton Berrios, and Taj Washington. We'll see if Eric Ezukama or River Craycraft can crack into that 6th spot on the Dolphins roster. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Like I mentioned, make sure you do subscribe to the channel as we're going to have you covered on everything surrounding the Dolphins in minicamp and throughout the rest of this offseason. So join us. I'll see you on the next video. Go Fins. Woo! First segment down. How we doing, folks? How we doing? Oh no, we got a fight going on in the chat. Is that what I've been told? Sherry May doesn't like the troll job of Rolly's neckbeard. Rolly's neckbeard comes from Bears now. Just think about that. Think about that. Chad Jones says 7. Ralph says 6. Tim B says 7. Sherry May, no rookie score there, 8-2. Here's a legit thing. When I do these questions, so compartmentalize. Am I dumb? Did I say it right there? Compartmentalize. Like I said, I'm a dumb person, guys. I am. When I ask scale 1 to 10, I want decimals. No rookie scores. No 1, no 2, no 3. Give me decimals. I said 7-7. I want precise numbers. No, I want decimals. Precise numbers. Sherry May gets it. 8-2. 8-2. I love it. I love it. LGC's I am dumb too. Well, I guess we're dumb. We're dumb brothers. That's not a movie, right? No, it's Dumb and Dumber. Dumb Brothers and Dumb and Dumber sound eerily similar. Yeah, Chad Jones is laying down the hammer on Rolly's neckbeard. You got to watch what he says before he gets banned. No one, yeah, as I say, no one comes after Sherry, man. That's a good point, Jack. Good point.
There are some loyal Dolphins Today watchers from back when Will Scott was the host.
Yeah.
And you just don't go after them. And if you do, you're going to find out.
You just can't do it. Well, we technically peaked higher this week. It went back down, but we technically did peak higher. At least now, as of now. Yeah, early peaker. Finish early. Oh, boy. Carter Reimer, Miami Mets.
You want to talk about a real one. So that means you were here for RC as well.
RC.
You've been here for every iteration of Dolphins Today.
Oh, man. We are a team, Chad Jones. And I'm excited for our watch parties this season, man. They're going to be a good time. They are going to be a great effing time. We do have a mailbag coming up in just a second. Use hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat to get your questions in to the show. I don't know if we have enough as of right now. There's a lot of time, obviously. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time to get questions in. But make sure you do. Hashtag Dolphins or Super Chat guarantees you to get on the show. If you do Super Chat as well, $10 is 5 push-ups. $20 is a shot of tequila. And then if you send in a 50 Super Chat bomber, you get into the Dolphins Aqua Club, which is a.k.a. our Hall of Fame. There's only 3 members. We write your initials or full name, depending if it can fit. Get your name on here, and I'll take down a beer bong out of the Merbanga to celebrate you getting into the Aqua Club / Hall of Fame. $50 is that, so we'll see if anyone wants to take us up on that. If not, that's okay, but just wanted to know, Super Chat gets you guaranteed into our mailbag, and I'll do something as to show gratitude, if you will, for your donation.
Now I really know he's trolling because he says Flus is better than McDaniel. That's hilarious.
This guy doesn't know anything. Also saying Caleb better than Tua. Caleb Williams, he is a highly touted prospect, but there's no guarantee that he's going to be anything special. Tua is a fringe top 10 quarterback, in my opinion, right now. He ranges anywhere between 9 to 12, I think. I think that's fair. Chad says I did 50 and they took the money, but it didn't go through. Did that happen today or in, the past? Just, I don't know. I hope that's not today. I hope it actually never happened. Did it? I might have been a different channel. Chad Jones is today. I hope that's not true, Chad. I hope it either comes in this. I hope it goes back to you because we didn't get anything. You know, Chad Jones, we would react pretty heavily if we saw it. And we'd be partying, we'd be celebrating. We wouldn't just do that. So hopefully you get your money back. Yeah, I haven't got anything either, man. Haven't got anything either. All right. Maybe it comes in after during the segment. Who knows what's going to happen? But either way, YouTube stinks. Don't say I can't say that because we're on here, but they stink. They stink. We can't live without it. They stink. All right, it's time to talk some Justin Simmons talk right now, though, because he wants to be a Miami Dolphin, folk. He does. Let's get into it. I'm pumped up for this segment. Justin Simmons, he wants to be a Miami Dolphins. The NFL free agent safety, formerly of the Denver Broncos, took to social media and kind of gave a little bit of a cryptic post hinting at him wanting to be a part of this Dolphins roster. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. Let's get into it, and it all started with this. King of Finland, who is a great follow on Twitter if you're a Dolphins fan, by the way, if you haven't followed him already, so go do so, tweeted out, could today be the day, with the devil emoji, and there was also a photo accompanied to that. And it was this photo right here of Miami Dolphins, Justin Simmons Photoshop, his little signature. So he was kind of teasing, could today be the day that Justin Simmons signs with the Miami Dolphins? And then this Twitter user, Ross Tucker, quote tweeted it and says, let's win your golf event and then get you on a one-way to McDaniel land at JSims11119. And then Justin Simmons, who is that, responded with the eye emojis. So Dolphins fans got quite excited, and I did too, that he is kind of teasing us and might want to be a Miami Dolphin. We're going to talk about what it would cost if Miami should do it, could do it, and how he is as a player. But if you want Justin Simmons to be a Miami Dolphin, like it seems like he could be open to being, type those JS's down below. Let's get all the JS's down. So if Justin Simmons is scrolling on YouTube, typing his name in connection with Miami, and he goes across this video, he knows that Dolphins fans want him here, so he will sign here. This would be an unreal signing for the Miami Dolphins. To get a safety of Justin Simmons' caliber would just be simply phenomenal. He is one of the best coverage safeties, best tackling safeties, and he's been that way for Denver. Just the Broncos had to shed some salary, and Simmons ended up being a cap casualty. But he's still got a lot in the gas tank, and Miami should absolutely sign the former Pro Bowl safety to this Dolphins roster. Because when you look at this safety depth chart right now, there's a lot that could be loved, but there's also some things left on the table. What is there to love? Well, the tandem of Jaylen Waddle and Jordan Poyer is a top 5 safety tandem in the NFL. I can confidently say that. Poyer is a top 20 safety in the NFL. I think Jaylen Waddle is a top 5 safety in the National Football League. The issue I have is the depth behind them. Elijah Campbell is spotty at best. Patrick McMorris was a 6th-round pick out of Cal, but then the other two guys, Colbert and Mark Perry, and Perry, guess what, is a UDFA, and so is Colbert. So to me, I think the Dolphins need a third safety. Barring injury, you could be in an absolute horrific spot on this depth chart if Jaylen Waddle or Poyer went down. So having the insurance of Justin Simmons could only help there, but it also could make your defense more versatile because I will touch on this, but I think Anthony Weaver would like to run some 3 safety sets. Simmons would be the best safety available to add to this roster. He was solid in 2023, but he's been one of the best safeties in football over the past 4 seasons, and he was at his prime about 2 or 3 years ago. He had 70 tackles last year, a couple TFLs, a couple forced fumbles, took the ball away 5 times, which is nice. And he was all right in coverage. It was nothing special. Like, it could have been better, sure, but it's not like he is an absolute liability back there at safety. Completion percentage around at 63.9. Only allowed 324 yards. The 3 touchdowns isn't great, and the QB rating at 85.9 is average, if I do say so myself. But like I mentioned, he has a knack for getting his hands on the balls. 8 PBU, 3 INTs. He knows how to find the ball when it's in the air, and he does not panic when he's in one-on-one situations deep down the field. He's calm, cool, collected, and could knock down or intercept the pass. And I've talked about this a little bit, but Anthony Weaver, the defensive coordinator who's coming over from the Baltimore Ravens, I think he could use all 3 safeties on the field at the same time. I believe that he's going to run a lot of different style defenses, the traditional base where you have 2 safeties, 2 corners, nickel where you have 3 corners, 2 safeties, but I also believe there's a high possibility that there is some formations where they go 3 safeties and 2 corners, moving Javon Holland, putting him in a Kyle Hamilton-esque role that he was playing for Baltimore when Anthony Weaver was a defensive line coach and assistant head coach. I think Weaver would like to have 3 safeties on this roster. I think Javon Holland could handle that, I guess, upgrade in role, and then you could still have Poyer and Simmons on the back end. Yeah, sign me up for that. If the Dolphins sign Justin Simmons, we will have you covered. Don't get it twisted, folks. Hit that sub button, because if Simmons signs with the Dolphins, heck, we might even go live, so make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. As I mentioned just a bit ago, Anthony Weaver, if he adapts the same style of defense that Mike McDaniel had in Baltimore last season, then you should expect to see a lot of multiple sets and a lot of DBs on the field. 3-3-5, where you have 3 linebackers, 3 defensive linemen, 5 defensive backs, a 4-2-5 formation. And yeah, some of these can be different iterations of nickel or something like that. But as I mentioned, I think there's a legit possibility you see if Justin Simmons signed with Miami. Of course, we're all talking in hypotheticals, where you could see Simmons and Poyer on the back end. Simmons is that traditional free safety. Poyer is that strong safety. And then Holland can float around in the box, playing nickel corner if he needs to, playing as a speedy linebacker, manning up on tight ends or running backs and man coverage. I just think the versatility that Justin Simmons would give you is just so important that I think it would be fantastic for the Dolphins to add this man. And if he does want to come to Miami, I truly believe they need to get this done. And it's not like they can't get it done. The cap space is very fortunate for Miami after June 1st because they released Xavier Howard with a post-June 1st designation. That freed up $18.5 million in cap space. So Miami now has $18.8 million in cap space, which ironically enough is actually the second most in the AFC East. The Patriots still have like $40 million in cap space. The Dolphins have 18. Then the Bills and Jets are floating around like 9 or 10 or something like that. There is room for the Dolphins to add Justin Simmons to this roster. We'll talk about what that contract looks like in just a second. But make sure you are getting this 2-pack combo of Dolphins t-shirts. They are $15 off right now when you go to chatsports.com/Dolphins combo. It could be the perfect Father's Day gift for you if you have not already bought your father or significant other Father's Day gift already. Get this one right now. One more time, chatsports.com/Dolphins combo to get $15 off. All right, even though I said that the Dolphins have about $18.8 million in cap space, I do got to be honest with you. Due to them not signing Chop Robinson, the first-round pick in 2024, or Patrick Paul, second-round pick, 51st overall, to their rookie deals, that isn't really factored into that $18.8 million in cap space. They did sign 5 draft picks today, or excuse me, a couple days ago, by the way, in the form of Malik Washington, Mohamed Kamara, Taj Washington, McMorris, and Jalen Wright. I can't believe I spaced on that name for a second. But when they signed Chop Robinson and Patrick Paul, the cap space Miami will realistically have is around that $9 to $10 million range. Now, there are different ways to create more cap space, but if you just wanted to use that 9 to 10, I think this contract would be very, very good for Justin Simmons. My prediction 1-year, $7 million deal for Justin Simmons. That is the type of money he could get. And I think he's worth that. I think there's a chance he could get $10 million from a team that has a lot more in cap space. But if Simmons wants to join Miami, also, remember, take this into consideration. This really means a lot to some players. No state income tax in Florida. So that $7 million in Miami could be worth $9 or $10 million in a state that does have income tax. So that does play a factor here. And if Simmons wants to contribute to a winning team, as he hasn't done the past couple of years in Denver, I think he could sign that 1-year, $7 million deal to form the best safety trio in the NFL with Javon Holland and Jordan Poyer. So would you give Justin Simmons $7 million for 1 year? If you would, type Y for yes. If you wouldn't, type N for no. I think Simmons is worth it. I'm typing my Ys, but let me know your thoughts down below. The one downside of paying Justin Simmons that money is that if you don't create cap space in a different way, it does almost entirely eliminate you from also adding a defensive tackle or an offensive guard to this roster. Because obviously right guard is the biggest need, as there's no clear-cut starter with Robert Jones, Liam Eichenberg, Jack Driscoll fighting it out for that spot. And defensive tackle, losing Christian Wilkins. Do we trust Novell Gallimore and Tier Tart to be that leading pair man with Zach Sealer? I don't know if I do. So unless they create more cap space, paying Simmons does take you out of those rates. But if you do extend a Tyreek Hill, extend a Tua Tagovailoa, you can have different ways to create cap space. And I believe I actually was reading today is a way that the Dolphins, if they extended both Tyreek Hill and Tua and pushed some of the money into a signing bonus or later on in their contracts, could create like $24 or $25 million additionally for this season, which would then allow you to go on a tirade potentially and just add a bunch of good veterans on 1-year deals for the 24-25 season. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff. I'm talking Dolphins football on a daily basis over on the Bird app. So if you want more coverage in between each video, that's the place to do it. I'll see you on the next video. Go Fins. Oh! Let's go! Chad Jones with a $50 super chat. Who?
Chad Jones!
Who? The legend is just continuing to grow his status here at Dolphins Today. Looks like this one came through. So, this is the first time I'm doing this. This is absolutely electric. Absolutely electric. $50 to get. We're going to try to fit your name.
Chad Jones.
I think I'm going to try.
You are the GOAT, and we know this already, but you continue to prove that you are the GOAT.
I was able to fit Chad Jones' full name onto the sticker, and he is getting inducted to the Dolphins Hall of Fame or Aqua Club. I guess the way that I was explained to this, I'm assuming this was just specifically for the offseason because there's no way he wasn't on it from the regular season, right? That's kind of my take.
Yes, I believe this was an off-season.
Off-season
helmet?
Only that's cool. That's cool. All I know is that the first person that I am inducting into the Hall of Fame is Chad Jones. Nobody else should be that leading man. Oh, look at this, Jack. Look at that helmet. You get to see the chroma.
It looks beautiful.
Shout out to Chad Jones. He says Jack Lotteray's the GOAT.
Oh,
look at that, Jack. You get some love.
You're too nice.
Dolphins
but Chad,
helmet. Let's go. Now
you're the GOAT.
Now we get to take down a beer, too.
You're
I think that's my favorite part.
You're the
That's how we celebrate around here. Happy Dad, Cherry.
On top of that, we also got another 20 from Chad.
Oh, Chad Jones. I didn't see this one. I saw the 50 as we started filming, and it was hard for me not to get excited quickly.
Yeah, I was like, oh, is he going to see it?
I saw. Jack, I had to just power through because we were already like a minute through the video, so I was like, might as well just keep on going.
This one was for Landon.
Landon.
Shout out to Landon.
Shout out LGC, baby. All right, time to get this Happy Dad poured up. Shout out to you, Chad Jones, the
everyone spam chug.
Mother effing legend, man.
Everyone spam chug. Let's go.
I'm going to chug this quick, too. This is the first time I've done a chug on Dolphins Today. No, that's not true. I think I did one during the draft. Did I? Did I do a chug during the draft, or is this my first one? I legitimately don't know. I cannot remember. Maybe that tells me I did do a chug. I don't know. Either way, appreciate Fins Up, Kenny,
Spam
Chad
chug,
Jones.
let's go.
I botched Zimbotic. Zimboctu.
Zimbotic.
I botched this last week, too. Matt Farm says first. I'm with it. All right, here we go. I'm chugging this fast as heck, folks.
We want to spam those chugs. Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Shout out Landon as well. This one was for Landon, so shout out to Landon.
Beer down, baby.
That's a shot as well.
That's right, it is. Putting our bodies on the line. That was a pretty good time. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I put my best foot forward for the Dolphins fans in my first ever chug as host. I think I took down some. I had to take down some stuff when I used to produce. I remember, folks. If you're a new viewer, you wouldn't know. If you're an OG, you would. 2 years ago, I produced for Will Scott. I was here for the final 3 or 4 games of the 2022 NFL season, and I was here for the Skylar Thompson playoff game against the Bills, where we almost won. The Bills are so bad.
What a time to be alive,
dude! The Bills should have lost. Never mind. I'm not going to bring up old wounds. We're in 2024. Shout out to you, Chad. You're the best. The best. Oh, there's no better way to keep it going than Fins Up, baby. Love that profile picture. I like that background. Chad Jones, woo! Chad Jones, woo! Chad Jones, woo! And what does that mean? That means I got to do 10 push-ups. Oh, 5 push-ups. 5 push-ups. I lied. Drinks are already hitting me. 5 push-ups, which honestly I think is going to be a battle to get done. I got to be honest, Jack. What's up, guys? I think it's going to be an absolute battle to get this done because I'm sore and I just did a beer bong. The soreness is really what I'm concerned at, as you guys get a nice little peek behind the curtain here of what my desk setup looks like. My drink, my water, the whole 9 yards. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right. Let's pump it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to be honest. I actually thought it was going to be much worse than that. We got it, though. Sherry May says, well, Sherry May just absolutely bodied me in the chat as well, saying, stop whining and get busy, son. I don't know if that's me. I think that's to me. That's a tough look for me. I pumped them out. And by the way, here's one thing. That form is impeccable. Impeccable form. Sherry May says, just wanted to wish the best belated Memorial Day to all my brothers and sisters in arms. Salute. Oh, my God. You know what? Clap it up for Sherry May. Clap it up for Sherry May. And all our troops. It's just absolutely. Chad says, dude, knee push-ups. I wasn't doing knee push-ups. I got a witness here in Lottery. I was not doing knee push-ups. I was not doing it. Oh, my guy Wasim Khan is in the building. One of the legends and real ones here at Chat Sports. I love me some Wasim Khan. Hey, Rolly and Jack. You may have covered this. What's the latest on Tua? Will they be able to sign him? Will they be able to sign everyone? Well, Wasim, that's a good question, and we'll feature that in the mailbag. But they did not sign Tua yet. They are able to sign him. It's not like they can't. And when you say everyone, I'm assuming you're going to be talking about Tyreek Hill, Jalen Phillips, Javon Holland. We'll answer this question more in depth in the mailbag coming up in just a second. Shout out to you, Wasim. Also, remember, Wasim, I don't know if you know this. I'm going to be live on the Heat Report for the NBA Finals. So if you watch the NBA Finals, Wasim, and want to come hang out with us on the Heat Report, come do it. And make sure you get your Dolphins questions in, like Wasim Khan. Super Chat guarantees you to be featured. But if you just want to get a normal question and you can't spend money, we completely get that. So hashtag Dolphins or to get on the show. Do we have enough, by the way, Jack? Yeah, I got to do another 5 push-ups. Another 5 push-ups. Oh, let's get it, baby. See, no knees on the floor here. I can't believe someone said that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, yeah, baby. I love that, baby. I love it. I love it. I can't believe someone said that knees on the floor. That was a crazy call out, man. That was a crazy call out. That's just disrespectful. Disrespectful. I work out too much to have people say I put knees on the floor for push-ups. Fun fact for me, I've changed my life around in a different way over the last 3 weeks, Jack. I don't know if you know this. I don't think I've really said it too much in the office. I have always been a late person. What does that mean? That means I am up till 1:32 a.m. every night. And then I wake up at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and come into work at 9:30, 10. I decided to change that. And I now wake up at 6:15 in the morning every day. And I go to the gym in the morning.
But what time do you go to bed now?
Yeah, here's the thing. Like I wake up at 6:15. I get to the gym at 6:45, 7 in that range. Work out for an hour, hour and a half. Shower, eat breakfast, come into work, and then do cardio later in the night because I got to get the cardio in too. And but I fall asleep much quicker now. Like I go to sleep I wake up early. I fall asleep at like 10:45, 11. So I've just completely gone in reverse, where it's like I go to bed like like a super early person now. But I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
Even though like 10:30, 11 isn't early.
That's early.
Like for me, like I'm usually in bed around 10. Not asleep, but I'm in bed getting ready for bed.
Interesting. So what time do you usually fall asleep? Same time then, probably, right?
Probably around 10:30, 11, yeah.
But I decided I wanted to become a morning person. I just decided that. I've always been I've been a night owl, but now I decided I'm an early person, and I guess it's working. Because I actually, by the way, this is the craziest thing. It's only been going on for 2.5 weeks. Welcome to my TED Talk, everyone, where you get to know me and I get to know you. My body wakes up at 6:15 now. It is clockwork. My alarm is set for 6:20 in the morning, but you can guarantee that I am opening my eyes at 6:15 a.m.
My alarm goes off at 8 a.m. every morning. I'm up at 7:45 every morning. It's not even it never.
What is this? What is it? Chad Jones says all the way up and all the way up. Wait, all the way down and all the way up. No knees. There is no knees. Lenny Way got 5 more push-ups coming. There's no knees. I feel like you can see it. You can tell there's no knees. Ridiculous. You guys are killing me. All right, 5 more, they'll come my way. We're going to get this really, if you can't tell, hands really inside the shoulders here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands inside the shoulders. Hands on your knees. Shake that ass for Drake. No, shake that ass for me. Shout out Sexy Red. All right, do we have enough questions? Let's stop talking about push-ups. I mean, I'm fine talking about push-ups and doing push-ups, but we can stop talking about my sleep schedule and we can get into more Dolphins content for you guys. Yeah, make sure you guys like the video too. 65 likes. There's 58 people watching. We've taken quite the depth. Yeah, because we're talking about craziness over here. Do we have enough though? Just let me know if I need to expand my thoughts or not. Oh, that's fine, yeah. Oh, yeah, we'll be good. We got enough. All right, final segment of the show on tap. Hour in. Let's get it. Mailbag coming up, answering the latest on the Miami Dolphins. Before we get into today's Dolphins mailbag, make sure you're following us over on Instagram, because if we get enough followers over on our Instagram, at Dolphins Today IG is the handle, we might do an Instagram-led Q&A. Usually it's during our live shows on YouTube, but if you can't watch them live, that's fine. Follow us on Instagram. Let's say when we get to 500 followers, we'll do an Instagram Q&A. So give us a follow and shoot a DM with a question, and maybe you'll be featured on a future show. All right, welcome to Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, where we do have a very fun mailbag on tap for all of you today. And like I said, if you can't watch the mailbag, follow us on IG or watch the live show, excuse me. We'll start with Wasim Khan, $10 super chat. Hey, Rolly and Jack, you may have covered this. What's the latest on Tua? Will they be able to sign him? Will they be able to sign everyone? Well, Wasim, it's a good question. A week and a half ago, Jaylen Waddle got his massive extension, 3-year deal, so he's under contract with the Dolphins for the next 5 seasons. And Chris Grier, the GM, has a lot of decisions to make. Tua is up for an extension. Javon Holland, Tyreek Hill wants more money due to Justin Jefferson's big deal. Then you also have Jalen Phillips coming down the pipeline for a possible extension. If I had to probably rank what order I would go in to get these done, I think Tua is number 1. There's been discussions, but there's nothing, I guess, imminent right now. There is reports and rumors that the Dolphins and Tua are closer on an extension than the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence are. But after Tua, you got to get it done with Holland as he's entering free agency next year. Now, hypothetically, if you were to get a extension done with Tua, you could use the franchise tax next year on Javon Holland, but I'd probably not want to do that. Tua and his representatives are talking with Chris Grier on a daily basis, and hopefully they do get it done. I think it will be done prior to training camp starting in late July. The legend Chad Jones. Do you think Simmons will sign with Miami? He's talking about the safety Justin Simmons, and he absolutely will. Now, absolutely might be a strong way to say this, but I do have a lot of confidence because I know that Chris Grier believes that another safety needs to be added to this room. I mean, he proved that by drafting one in the 6th round out of Cal, hoping maybe that person, Patrick Morris, will come in and flash and provide that ability to be the third safety. But if he doesn't, which I don't anticipate him doing because a 6th round out of Cal probably isn't really making that big of a difference in year 1, but maybe I'm wrong, Justin Simmons needs to be added. He is one of the best safeties, probably the first or second best free agent still out there. Probably Stephon Gilmore and Simmons are the top 2 guys, and Simmons would create the best trio at safety in the NFL with Miami. Javon Holland, Poyer, and Jay Sims. Heck yeah, man. And Anthony Weaver, the DC of Miami, he would be able to utilize all 3 on the field at the same time. Also gives you insurance if one gets banged up. It's a match made in heaven. I think Simmons wants to come to Miami. I think the Dolphins should want Justin Simmons, and hopefully they get it done. Chucky. Name a trade target for the Miami Dolphins. All right, that's a good question. You know, more cap space for Miami post June 1st. I've got a little bit of a shocking name out there that you might not have heard of just yet. How about Robert Hainsey? And you might think to yourself, who's that? Who's Robert Hainsey? Let me fill it in on you. He has been the starting center for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the past 2 seasons. And the impressive thing about Hainsey is that he played in all 17 games over the last 2 years. So the max he could have played was 34 games in the regular season. Guess what? He played 34 games. He had a better 2022, according to PFF, and honestly, the raw statistics. He didn't allow a sack, and he only was penalized twice, and he had solid PFF grades in terms of pass blocking and overall. Now, that number dipped in 2023. It jumped up to 9 penalties, 4 sacks, 52.8 PFF grade. Not the greatest pass block or run blocking grades either. And what happened is that the Buccaneers deemed that he is not the long-term answer at center after being the starter for 2 seasons, and they drafted Duke interior offensive lineman Graham Barton in the 1st round, someone that I wanted the Dolphins to draft if he was available at pick 21. So he did not get drafted by Miami. He goes to Tampa, and Barton is anticipated to be the starter for the Bucs, which puts Hainsey as the backup. Now, if the Dolphins traded a late pick, whether it be like a 6th round or 7th round pick for Hainsey, could he potentially have a chance to be the starting right guard? Because the Dolphins don't need a center. They have Aaron Brewer, who they signed on a 3-year deal in free agency coming over from Tennessee. But you trade for Hainsey, the 4th-year man. Could he switch over to right guard and be that starting right guard? I think it's an under-the-radar name that you could keep your name on. So would you trade for Robert Hainsey? Type T for trade or type P for pass? I mean, he's not the biggest name, but he's someone that could come in, give you depth at center, as well as potentially fight for that right guard spot. Is he that much better than Liam Eichenberg? Who knows? I think he's better, but is it significant? Maybe it's not enough to make that trade happen. Do you think Jalen Ramsey is going to have a breakout season? LGC with the question. Well, I guess there's a way I can answer this. Here's the thing. Jalen Ramsey would not have a breakout season. Jalen Ramsey is one of the best cornerbacks in football, and he's been the best quarterback in football prior when he was with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he was phenomenal with the Los Angeles Rams as well. So it's not like he would break out this season. But do I think he will have a really good season for the Miami Dolphins? I do. Him and Kendall Fuller are a really good duo on the perimeter on this Dolphins defense, and as long as Ramsey stays healthy, I expect him to have a monster season for Miami. Kenny the Penny. Will Jalen Wright, fourth-round running back out of Tennessee, have a breakout season like Devon Achane from a year ago? I don't think you could expect the same productivity from Jalen Wright as you got from Devon Achane a year ago. Like, Achane was on pace to put up over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns if he didn't get hurt. Like, Achane had 800 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's phenomenal. And this is just too loaded of a running back room to expect Wright to do that. He's running back 3 on this depth chart, behind Achane and Mostert. I think the 3 will complement each other very well. I think the 3 will combine to put up really good numbers as a trio, but I do not expect the rookie out of Tennessee to be the one who goes for 808 touchdowns. Raheem Mostert's going to be that back that does most of the work in the red zone. Achane is going to be a high receiving back target with Wright mixing in there in certain pass protection situations. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel for daily Miami Dolphins content. We are on the trail to 57,000 subscribers, just under 500 away. So help me out and help yourself by becoming the most informed Dolphins fan on the planet by hitting that sub button. All right, every noodle coming in here. Which 2024 rookie do you think is a dark horse to be a team star? This is a terrific question, every noodle. I've said this name so much that I don't want to say it, but it's what I believe. I think Malik Washington, the 6th-round wide receiver out of Virginia. I think he is a terrific player. I could also go Mohamed Kamara as well to be that 4th or 5th edge rusher in rotation where he could have 6 or 7 sacks if he really pans out. But I'll stick with my gut of Malik Washington. He was a second-team AP All-American a year ago for the Cavaliers of Virginia in the ACC. He was a first-team All-ACC guy. He had 100-plus catches, 1,400 yards. He was just absolutely dominating the slot in the ACC. I think he could be a top target for this Dolphins team in the slot if he continues to progress well and understand the offense. The signing of Odell Beckham Jr. hurt his chances to do that, but the good news is that all 3 wide receivers for Miami are versatile, where they can play outside, they can play inside. So if Malik Washington really carves out that slot position, I could easily see him having 500 yards if he has an expanded role on this offense. Gaming with John Michael, Dolphins. If Tyreek Hill does get paid, how much do you think it would be? I think it would be exactly what Justin Jefferson got paid. The way I look at it is that this is, as Tua said on Tuesday when it came to the quarterback market, the market's the market. Justin Jefferson's either the best receiver in football or he's the second best receiver in football. Tyreek Hill, he's either the best receiver in football or he's the second best receiver in football. So to me, I think those two should be making the same amount of money. And who knows, maybe CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Ayuk, or Jamar Chase reset that market. But I'd expect a deal to be $35 million in annual average salary for Tyreek Hill. Maybe it is a 4 for $40, and Tyreek Hill gets his last contract with Miami. Maybe it's a 2-year, $70 million extension. I don't know, but I would expect it to be close to this $35 million in annual average salary. More questions to get to in a second, but make sure you are hooked up with this sweet Dolphins combo. Father's Day is just a week away, so get the best gift you possibly could with chatsports.com/Dolphins combo. $15 off this t-shirt pack, orange shirt, aqua shirt, the best combo in the business. Links in the description and comments, chatsports.com/Dolphins combo. Sherry May, when are our preseason games? Are they home or away? Who's our sponsor with the last-minute tickets? I don't know if I can I answer. Yeah, game time. Yeah, game time. It's going to be the best way to get tickets this season with the Dolphins. Shout out to Game Time. Not sponsoring today's video, but they will be back again. Well, the Dolphins are preseason games. I believe one's against the Buccaneers. Let me double check. But I'm pretty sure one's against the Buccaneers. They are also doing joint practices for all three preseason games, which isn't really something that's ever been done for Miami. It actually has never been done. The Atlanta Falcons is one. That is the first preseason game. I believe the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is the second. That's the third. And then the Washington Commanders is the second. Two of them are at home. The first one, Falcons, which is August 9th, which will be live watch party. Week 2 on a Saturday, August 17th, at home against the Commanders. And then week 3 at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So 2 at home, 1 on the road. There's joint practices and shout Game Time to fully answer that question. Predict the Dolphins 2024 record for me. It's a tough schedule, but this is a talented roster. I think Miami is going to be able to go 11-6. Let me know your thoughts down below. Gaming with John Michael, another question. Do you think that Tua will play all 17 games this year, just like he did last year? I hope so. He needs to, especially if he has aspirations to be getting paid $55 million a season. But I will go out on a limb and predict yes. I think Tua has done an excellent job of getting his body right. He's lost 15 to 20 pounds. People are calling him Slim Tua. Jokes were had on Tuesday saying, I miss fat Tua, but Slim Tua looks really good. Tua talked about eating better, working out, eliminating sugar from his diet, and he looks like almost like a different person. I think the added mobility and agility will help him stay upright. Obviously, he's done the training in the past to limit his fall and damage to where he lands on his head. I think Tua is going to play another 17 games, and I think he's going to put up an MVP caliber season on the stat sheet. All right, that's going to do it for today's mailbag. If you didn't get your question answered or you missed the live show where you could answer your questions, follow us on Instagram at Dolphins Today. IG is the handle. When we get to 500 followers, which we're just about 200 away, we will do a IG-led mailbag. So follow us and shoot us a DM with your question. All righty then. Gaming is pumped that got in twice. You asked a couple of questions. You ask good questions, you get on the show. LGC says, when you said Malik Washington, I was thinking would probably be Chop Robinson. Well, if I remember correctly, you said dark horse rookie that could stand out. I wouldn't say the first-round pick is a dark horse, right? Because he's expected to be a pivotal member of this team. So that's why I went with someone drafted outside of the first 2 rounds there. That's why I did that. But I actually, if I had to say who would make the... Honestly, it's tough. Like, I don't even know if I would answer differently if you would allow me to take any of the safeties. Like, Chop, I think, is going to be good. But he's still like the 4th edge rusher behind Phillips, behind Chubb, Shaq Barrett. So, I don't know. I think I would still go with Malik Washington, man. I think I still would. Chad Jones predicting 11-6. That's mine. LJ says 13-4. Sherry May says I want to see a game. I'd love to see a game in person, but obviously I can't because we'll be live on the channel hanging out. Well, we've got a lot of super chats today. We appreciate Chad Jones, Sherry May, Wasim Khan, Fins Up for supporting and donating to the channel on this fine Tuesday afternoon. You made my day. Hopefully I helped your day as we were live here on the channel. Only 50 people watching right now. I think we're going to head out and call it a Tuesday afternoon. We'll give it maybe a minute if anyone wants to send another super chat. This is our menu. But we appreciate everything that has already came in. Chad Jones, you're the best. Wasim Khan, you're awesome. Fins Up, you're awesome. Sherry May, you're awesome. And we also got a new Hall of Fame member today, which is even more awesome. That orange sticker, baby. That orange sticker, that indicates you are inducted by Rolly. Anything else? Prior regime. Ty Man says, see you next week, Rolly. Ty Man, you're the best. Chad Jones, peace out. Peace out, Chad. Have a good rest of your week. All right. I think that'll do it. Blast. It was a very fun second live show, weekly live show, I should say, on Dolphins Today. We will be back next Tuesday, as we will be for the entire off season. So hopefully we see you then. Have a good rest of your week. We'll have videos every single day. A couple times I think we might have 2 videos a day. And enjoy your weekend as well. I'll see you next Tuesday. For Jack Lotteray, I'm Nic Rohloff. Peace out.